What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Spare Change. Today in for a review, we've got one of my top favorite movies of all time, Heat, on iTunes 4K. I think this was supposed to be released on 4K Blu-ray at some point in time, but it hasn't happened yet. So the next best thing is 4K streaming. I won't discuss plot details because I'm sure you've already seen it, and if you haven't, go and pick it up now. It's a classic. Now for some quick tech specs. The film was shot in 35mm. It's got a 4K DI. Runtime is 170 minutes. It's rated R. Aspect ratio is 235:1. So if you're watching this on a TV, you'll get those black bars on the top and bottom of your screen. Now for video quality, it is sharper and tighter than the regular Blu-ray. Like in Chapter 32, during the bank shootout, the buildings, walls, and roads displayed a noticeable increase in texture and sharpness. Close-up shots were rendered much cleaner, with facial hair and clothing appearing more discernible over the standard Blu-ray. This film was shot on 35mm, so you won't be getting a razor-sharp 4K image, and there obviously is going to be a fair amount of film grain throughout. So grain haters, look out. Though the image does get a boost in clarity, there's also a softness to it from being shot on film. HDR usage improves the color palette some, by bringing a little extra detail in the darker areas. But I found black levels to be both deeper and contrasty, and other times there'd be some black crush happening. There was some posterization and macro blocking during some scenes, but that could just be the stream. Most of this film does have a dark look with a lot of dark shades of blues, so you won't find any standout HDR pops of color. But some of the nighttime shots did look great, with the city lights shining brightly, and sunset shots had richer shades of color.
Sit there, don't move, let it bleed.
Audio for the iTunes stream was either in Dolby Digital 5.1, or you could select multi-channel PCM 5.1. I listened to the PCM mix and found it sounded the same as the Blu-ray's DTS HD version. If you've heard this before, you'll know it has a nice wide soundstage with always present ambient effects from outdoor sounds all the way to busy office sounds coming through all the speakers with very good clarity. The bank shootout in Chapter 32 has always been and still is a reference demo scene I use to show off my system. There's no background music, just straight gunshots and reverb and some silence. It's loud, it's hard-hitting, and accurate sounding. The musical score is also a highlight of this film. It sounded excellent from very soft passages to very high crescendos. It's a great soundtrack and really elevates the film. Bass response is felt when needed with very good mid-bass, and being a dialogue-heavy film, vocals were always clear, so no issues there. So for being a 5.1 audio mix, I'd have to give it an 8.5. Could a new immersive mix help out the experience? Maybe, but for being only 5.1, it still sounds great after all these years. For video quality, I'd have to go with a 7.5. This would seem to be the best it's gonna look for now, as it isn't super sharp and super crisp, but it's a definite boost over the regular Blu-ray. Now if you're a fan of the film and have an Apple TV 4K, it's a must own. If you've never seen it, I'd say give it a watch. Now if you've enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. Check out our social media links down below. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you guys again in the next video.